Part 3. My wife convinced me we needed marriage counseling to fix our problems, but she was actually having an affair with our therapist and they planned to gaslight me into believing I was the problem until I secretly recorded every session. Lauren begged me to reconsider, saying we could still work things out. I reminded her of the recording where she told Dr. Walker she loved him and couldn't wait to be with him openly. She tried to claim she'd been confused and manipulated by Dr. Walker, but I pointed out she'd been moving money and planning for months. Dr. Walker tried to offer me money to drop the licensing board complaint. He said he'd give me $50,000 and recommend I see another therapist who could document that I'd made progress. Michael told him that was attempted bribery and we were adding it to our complaint. I left the office with Michael, leaving Lauren and Dr. Walker to deal with the wreckage of their scheme. As we walked out, I could hear them starting to argue with each other, each blaming the other for the situation. The licensing board hearing happened 2 weeks later. Michael attended with me, and we presented all our evidence. Dr. Walker's attorney tried to argue that the relationship with Lauren only started after our couple's therapy had ended, but the recordings proved otherwise. The timeline clearly showed they'd been having an affair throughout our therapy and had been actively conspiring to manipulate me. The board also heard testimony from the 2 previous clients' husbands, which established a pattern of Dr. Walker using his position to seduce married women and manipulate their spouses. One of those men had actually attempted self-harm after Dr. Walker convinced him he was mentally unstable, which made the board even more serious about the violations. Update 3. It's been 5 months since the confrontation in Dr. Walker's office, and the fallout has been extensive. Dr. Walker lost his license to practice psychology. The board found him guilty of multiple ethics violations, including engaging in a sexual relationship with a client, using his position to manipulate and harm a client, me, and fraudulent billing practices. They discovered he'd been billing insurance for individual sessions with Lauren that were actually just meetings for their affair. His practice collapsed immediately. Other clients came forward after the board's decision was published, reporting that he'd made inappropriate advances or had used therapy sessions to manipulate their relationships. At least 3 more formal complaints were filed. His professional reputation is completely destroyed, and he's facing potential criminal charges for insurance fraud. Dr. Walker tried to maintain his relationship with Lauren after losing his license, but it fell apart within weeks. Without the excitement of sneaking around and the power dynamic of therapist-client, they had nothing in common. Lauren told mutual friends that Dr. Walker became bitter and blamed her for ruining his career. They had a massive fight where he told her she was just one of many clients he'd seduced and that she was nothing special. The divorce proceedings went smoothly in my favor. Lauren's attorney advised her to accept my terms rather than go to trial, where all the evidence would become part of public record. She agreed to a settlement where I kept the house, the majority of our savings, and my retirement accounts. She had to return the money she'd hidden plus interest. Lauren's professional reputation also suffered. Her research institution found out about the affair and the manipulation, and while they couldn't fire her directly, they made it clear she wasn't welcome. She ended up taking a position at a much smaller university in another state for significantly less money. Her parents were so disappointed in her that they barely speak to her now. The most satisfying outcome was how the truth affected Lauren's friend group. She'd been telling people that I was the problem in our marriage, that I was emotionally distant and possibly unstable. When the evidence came out showing she'd been having an affair and conspiring with a therapist to gaslight me, her friends were horrified. Several of them reached out to apologize for believing her lies about me. I'm doing much better now. I've been seeing an actual ethical therapist to process the betrayal and manipulation I experienced. She's been helpful in validating that what happened to me was abuse, a professional using his position to harm me while having an affair with my wife. The therapy has helped me rebuild my sense of reality after months of being gaslit. I've reconnected